What's up, internet? My name's Ori. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. You like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Oh boy, the live feeds have been wild. Do you know how wild they've been? Yesterday, when Kyle and Michael woke up, first thing they said to each other, it's gonna be wild. If you weren't following the channel yesterday, if you haven't been following what's been going on, past 48 hours have changed this game completely. We had the veto ceremony, which was a complete blindside to half the house. And let's get in there and break it all down. So we didn't get a lot before the actual veto ceremony. Like I said, we got Kyle and Michael waking up being like, this is going to be wild. There was a plan already in place. Joseph really helped Turner come up with this. Kyle was really helping Turner come up with this idea to sow some doubt, right? Plant some little seeds in the other side to make them start thinking, hey, maybe Turner wasn't going to do this. Don't outright tell them, but hey, like, let's try and make this a little bit more an emotional decision, less of a strategic one. So Turner goes to Daniel. He's like, hey, you know what? I've been thinking for a while. Like, I don't think it's going to be, I don't think I can do Taylor and Nicole. I don't think I can do it. Daniel's like, wait, what? He was like, they're like trying to get, they didn't even have like a chance to really talk too much. Feeds cut. We're going to the veto ceremony. So the feeds come back and instantly, the house is in chaos. It's an absolute chaos. So here, let's take a look here, because this is our alliance chart. The leftovers, everyone in the leftovers, they know the deal. They know what's going on. Everybody on the right side over there, they are just going to be clueless in this. They're have no clue this was coming. They were like, what's going on? Who knew? When did they know? What? It was absolute madness. So what we were able to piece together was obviously Michael and Brittany, they used a veto. We knew that was going to happen. Turner came through. He put Ameerah and Terrance up on the block as the replacement nominees. Now, he apparently said in his speech, and this is where it threw everybody for a loop, and it was absolute madness watching this all go out, turn into the finger pointing blame of what it became. His speech included the fact that Taylor had been bullied in this house, how she's been treated in this house. He said, I'm the youngest one in this house, and I shouldn't have to be the preacher of Pete's, but I am. And he said, I can't continue to be a part of how she's being treated. He said later, he was talking to Jasmine. He's like, Jasmine, think about if you were her. If I was her, I could not be in this house and feel safe after being put on the block 3 weeks in a row. I couldn't do it. So he's used that, the whole idea with Taylor sulking in the bed yesterday, being sad. He used that as part of it too. This is all working out perfectly for the leftovers, and honestly, it just gets better and better after this. So Indy was crying so hard she was puking in the bathroom. Terrance is on the feeds as soon as we come back, going, it's okay, I'll leave. Like, you know, I don't want Ameerah going home over me. Like I said, everyone's so confused. They're like, who knew? Every time somebody would walk in to the back bedroom, they would look at them and be like, did you know? Oh, I didn't know. What's going on? It was beautifully done. This was like watching a choreographed scene in a movie, like something out of like Ocean's 11 or The Sting, some kind of con movie where you're watching different members of the leftover switch off with people, and then as they would have conversations with people around the house, like, yeah, I didn't know what was going on. Did you know what was going on? I heard Daniel knew something. they would then meet up and share information and be like, yeah, this is what Alyssa's saying, this is what this person, this is, all right, scatter. And they would go out and just keep doing what they needed to do. It was amazing to watch everyone at work here, and I couldn't get enough of it. I really do feel like this has been the most fun Big Brother live feeds that we've had in years. Also, I have to give two big shout outs here before we keep going with this. First off, I truly believe in, calling them out when they need to, but also we need to praise them when we should. And I've done it a couple of times already this season. But listen, CBS, Big Brother, the producers, Paramount Plus, everybody involved with live feeds have crushed it this year. From the fact that the cuts are much less, we were able to enjoy almost that entire thing yesterday with very, very minimal cuts. They hardly went to "We'll be right back" and fishes or animal pets or anything like that. We were able to watch a lot of it go down. There was hardly anything that was missing. And on top of that, I keep thinking about how crazy it would have been if we had no feeds until like way early yesterday morning, real late at night. We would have been so confused once this hit. So the fact that we've been able to watch all of this play out on the feeds, I have to give the big respect to the producers and everybody involved in the live feeds, because they've crushed it this year. The second big shout out I want to give is to all of you. This has been a wild weekend, and I want to thank everybody who's new here, everyone who's been commenting, hitting up those like buttons, everyone who's been following over on Twitch. If you were following over Twitch, it was a whole lot of fun. We were watching all this go down, seeing everybody go into each room. It was madness. So, the narrative seemed to be working so far and causing chaos in the whole other side of the house. Honestly, the leftover, each one of them deserves Emmys, Oscars. Like, they were so good at lying. At one point, Ameerah, she goes up to Monte and she's like, "What's going on? Did you know?" He's like, "No, I didn't know." He's like, "Who wanted Taylor out more than me?" He's like, "This is pooch all over again." They're able to use what they've been doing, spin it around and throw it back in their face. It's been so good. They were like, who's been bullying Taylor? Not me. It wasn't me. It was Indy. They start blaming Indy for it. They're like, Indy was up there going and talking trash to Taylor. This is her fault. But he couldn't put her up. They had to put, because he didn't want to put Alyssa up. So that made it so she was safe. And then that put me up. They like couldn't come to grips that like, oh yeah, you know what? I've been kind of a shitty person. There's no self-awareness in any of them to realize like, oh yeah, you know what? Maybe this is all partly my fault, right? Maybe there's something that I should have done better. I really did love it too when Ameerah's in the back bedroom. At one point, she's surrounded by all leftovers. And she's like, I don't know what happened. Did any of you know? No. Taylor comes in. She's like, look, I just want to, let you know I'm here for you if you need anything, right? Game, not game. Like, you want to talk game? You want to not talk game? Fuck the game. Like, I just know what it's like being on the block. When you're up there, sometimes people just don't want to let you be a person. How she was able to say this with a straight face, like, shocking. This was so much fun. I was having the time of my life watching the feeds yesterday. It was amazing. So, because we're not done yet. This is only scratching the surface of what we got into yesterday. Nicole and Daniel, mom and dad over here. So Nicole and Daniel, they have their final two, the Rogue Rats. Immediately after the veto ceremony and the live feeds came back, they did have a little conversation up in the Have Not room. They're like, did you know? No, I didn't know. I had an idea that maybe, but, Turner told me right before. Daniel was like, but I didn't know who it was going to be. And we're like, we're still good. Like, it is what it is. But hey, maybe this is better because now, like, you don't have to worry about fighting for your life. So it was kind of like, all right, well, let's just do our best to try and, get through this. and seemed like they were on the same page. Nicole had told Alyssa, like I said, that like, hey, I think it was supposed to be you guys, but he didn't want to put you up because Indy, she was the one causing all this, so that that's why this happened. He didn't want to put you up with Indy because he didn't want to put you up, but it's Indy's fault. Flash forward to a bunch of them are in the back room, and Alyssa's just like, yeah, I heard it was supposed to be me and Indy, and Indy's in there, and she's like, wait, what? And Nicole's just like, Turner didn't tell you that. I told you that. And like, she got like really mad at her. They leave the room, and she causes a scene in the kitchen. She was like, can't fucking trust anybody. She threw us under the bus. She betrayed us. And everyone's like, what the fuck is going on over here? What happened? Daniel comes over, and he's like, hey, like, what's going on? And she's like, no, not right now. Can't talk. She goes out to the hammock. She's furious. She's like, I can't anymore. I'm done. She sits in the hammock. She falls right out the hammock. I'm telling you, the way this stuff was playing out on the feeds, you couldn't plan it. They couldn't plan for Nicole and Daniel to get mad at each other. They couldn't plan this, but it's working so great. Nicole fell out of the hammock twice. She's sitting out there steaming. People are coming out there to try and like calm her down. Daniel's like, what the fuck? My ride or die won't even talk to me. We'll talk to other people. It was madness. It was just pure chaos this entire time. And this is literally just the beginning of the madness that went on yesterday. So they finally, they're cooling her down. They're like, Alyssa comes out and apologizes. She's like, I didn't even realize. I didn't mean it, right? I'm sorry. I let you down. Nick and Daniel eventually have their little blow up in the back where she goes to like stand up to hug him, and Daniel's like, don't stand up. He was so mad. Oh, this was just like, it couldn't have gone any better for the leftovers. It literally couldn't have gone any better for them here. And the whole time, nobody's questioning anything. Nobody is even for a second thinking, hey, wait a minute. They just, and they believe, all right, well, we have the numbers for Ameerah. We can get her out. Like, this will be okay. Right? This is going to be fine. Terrance has already given up. Everything's going to be fine. Then King Joseph, the 25-year-old king, he comes in. He finds Terrance. He's like, listen, Terrance, don't give up yet. Keep fighting. You might have the votes. Like, you just got to keep your cool. Don't give up. Like, I heard you're throwing in the towel. Don't do it. Just pumping him up, getting him ready for this. So since they had sowed the seeds of doubt about Daniel, like knowing beforehand, that started to seep in, and they were like, yo, did Daniel know what was going on? Did he know it wasn't going to be Taylor and Nicole, or did he know who the replacements were going to be? Did Alyssa let something slip to Turner about what happened with Pooch last week? They're still trying to figure out how this could possibly happen. Never in a million years would they all be working together. That doesn't make any sense. No. There must be something that happened. It's like I said, they couldn't have planned this out any better than they did. Any better. Turner had his conversations with everybody. He kind of, filled them in on what was going on. A lot of his big stuff was, look, he didn't like how Taylor was getting bullied. He didn't want to continue to do that and put her on the block and be part of that. He was limited on who he could put up, but hey, there was this whole thing where Ameerah was like, we don't talk games. So that kind of, he was able to, use that as like, well, we don't even talk games. So yeah, I'm going to put her up. And they did have eventually a conversation, Ameerah and Turner, and she's like, oh, you just misunderstood. I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about Pooch. And like, it was like the most like backward ass apology. She never went and talked to him while he was HOH. Like, you brought this on yourself, but she can't admit that. It was an accident. According to Ameerah, this was an accident. He was going to nominate Indy and Alyssa, but he didn't. He nominated Ameerah and Terrance. It's all an accident. And she tells Terrance this, and Terrance's like, what the hell you mean an accident? Dude had a speech and everything. What do you mean accident? So Terrance was pissed off about that. He's gotten to the point where he's like, you know what? I might be able to have these votes now. I might actually be able to have these votes. He's talking to Nicole about it. Nicole, who she's like, man, oh, this is the toughest thing. I have to choose between my number 2 and my number 3. She says there's 2 Terrance. She's like, my number 1, Daniel, but you're my number 3. She's my number 2, and this is so hard. Who says this to someone? And not only did she say this to Terrance, she goes has the same conversation basically with Ameerah. Nicole's losing it. Nicole is absolutely losing it in there. And she's like, she comes to this realization. She's like, oh, I am the swing vote. I am the swing vote. She says to Ameerah, who's on the block, I think Turner did this to me on purpose. You're talking to the person he put on the block, and he did this to you on purpose. She has this like main character syndrome going on with her right now. It's like I said, this has been so much fun to watch. Now, I did try, and I was really hoping we would get all of the leftovers together. But one, probably not the best idea, but we did get a good bit of them towards the end, who kind of just all started like sharing the experience and like being like, this is amazing. This was so much fun. And Monte especially, like, he was there for the Alyssa thing, so he was able to fill them in. He's like, yeah, she was mad at Alyssa, then that caused the thing with Daniel. This was madness. So we can get into here a little bit of the Alyssa Kyle stuff. So Alyssa actually had a talk with Turner towards the end of the night. And she was like, yeah, you know, people are kind of like thinking I knew what was going on. And he's like, yeah, I know you didn't. We didn't even talk game and stuff. And he goes, you know, actually, I've heard from a lot of people that you, Alyssa, you only hang out with me so that you can get information to take to the girls. Which, funny enough, as soon as she left the HOH room, she went down to the girls and repeated this conversation about how this is what he's heard, that she only hangs out with them to get information. These people, it's like they don't see their own hypocrisy. Like, they don't see it. It's wild. And she talks about how she's like, yeah, Kyle's been avoiding me. She like cries about it, and Turner's like, oh, you know. So he eventually has a conversation with Kyle, and he's like, look, I think you just got to be like really upfront with her. Like, look, you know, you don't want to do anything, especially right now. Maybe she'll, you know, jury, right? Kyle tried to have that conversation with Alyssa outside. It seemed like she was doing it, but like also not. She seemed like she got it, but not. So we'll see how that continues to develop. Kyle, Joe, I don't think Kyle wants anything to do with it at all. Like, he is like, screw this. I'm here to win. Like, I don't want this showman's fucking my game up. So he doesn't want anything to do with it. Kyle also was able to like 100% confirm about the other alliance, right? So he said he overheard Terrance talking to Nicole and Daniel saying things like, yeah, only our side, meaning like the girls and them, were crying, right? None of the other side were. They were all shocked because they were, and he's like, I'm pretty sure Daniel told them because they were crying even before like you made the announcement. Like they were already getting upset. So that kind of confirmed that big alliance and the old school alliance on the other side. They also filled in Monte about the whole thing where Nicole and Ameerah don't think his job is real, and Monte loves this. He's like, why would I lie? Kyle's also like, I don't even give a fuck. Like, dude, you could be whatever. Like, I don't care what you are outside. And Monte nails him. Monte says, you know what? To me, somebody who's that concerned over what somebody's job is probably somebody who's lying about their own damn job. He's like, liars want to find the other liars. And he's right, because fucking Nicole is lying about her job. She's the actual cop, and she's so concerned about Monte lying about his. So it was really funny to see him just like nail that completely. There is something I really like too. So right now, the plan is just to keep Ameerah comfortable. Ameerah thinks she has the votes. Let her keep thinking that. Thursday comes around and it's going to be another blindside, and they don't want the vote to be unanimous. They want it to be a split vote so they can continue to hide their numbers and like sow doubt and point fingers. So here's Kyle's plan, and this I think is brilliant. So Kyle, right before the vote, wants to go to Daniel and tell Daniel how Alyssa told him about the old school alliance and that Daniel formed it. And he's hoping that this will continue to like sow doubt between Daniel and Alyssa and everybody, because now if Daniel starts telling Nicole that he knows about the alliance, like not only that he knows the alliance, but he knows the name old school, that's going to get everybody to freak out and cause even more trouble. And then hopefully people like Jasmine will be like, wait a minute, how is he getting this and what's going on? It's so much fun to watch this. Also, by the way, here's what we have so far for our alliance chart. But honestly, after the veto ceremony, the alliance chart was a little bit more like this. This is maybe a better representation of what the house was yesterday after the veto ceremony. It was wild. It was maybe better than I could have even expected the feeds to be after the veto ceremony. We were all like really super pumped about what was going to happen. It exceeded all of my expectations on what this could have been. And I'll tell you right now, if this is what we get already, it's week 3. They voted out one person. If this is the type of stuff we're getting already, feeds are going to just continue to get better and better, especially as these people don't realize what's happening. I think we're in store for some epic fights, especially once they do realize what's going on. This is gonna be a wild season, a season that started so bland, so predictable, has turned into chaos, unpredictability, and entertainment. Well, maybe unpredictability is a bit of a strong one. I think we have a good idea what's gonna happen right now, but it's fun to watch. I'm telling you, it's fun to watch. So what do you guys think? What did you think of the feeds yesterday? What did you think of everything that went down? Let me know in those comments down below. Also, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We've got a lot of new people here, so thank you everyone who's been watching. Hit that like button, hit that notification bell so you never miss a video, you never miss a stream. I think that pretty much covers everything for today. Make sure you come and check out tomorrow and the next day, because I think this is going to just be more and more fun as we're going. Thank you all once again, and I will see you next time.